Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the interior for this medieval apothecary. Hopefully by doing this it'll get you guys some inspiration and also maybe some ideas on what you want to do for the inside of yours if you haven't done so already. So what we're going to be doing first is taking a look at the bottom floor, and this is sort of where the, I guess the store clerk would sit right there. But what I tried today was to actually have like a raised platform as you enter in. So as you can see, this is one block higher than the main story of the building, but I have sort of fixed that up by placing a stair down. And the only reason I had to do this was because we decided to do the deck on the outside. But in the end, I think it added a lot more of a unique look and even a lot more detail. So I quite like it. You guys could always try something probably a little different. Maybe just one stair right here if you don't want to go with anything too big like this. If you want to keep as much room as possible on the floor, you can always just try something simple. Completely up to you. But anyways, on the sort of left side of this whole wall right here, I've just sort of scattered a bunch of ingredients, and really it turned out quite well, I think. I've got some of these hanging greeneries, lots of plants and stuff in the flower pots, but along the whole bottom is just a bunch of crafting tables to sort of look like drawers and stuff that may hold ingredients that are about to be shipped off. So sort of this area is maybe not the stuff that people are allowed to buy just yet, but maybe it's things that are being shipped out to different stores that need the apothecary supplies and medicines and all that good stuff. But yeah, if you're wondering what some of this stuff is, such as this thing, this is just another texture for the flower pot. So in the default texture pack, of course, it'll still look good. This obviously a bush. I don't think it's any different in the default one. But these right here are cobwebs, so they still look quite normal. I have tested it, and they just kind of make the build look a lot more dark and gloomy, which is also a cool effect you can go for. But this little thing right here, I tried to make it look almost like a flower pot that was wedged into these by placing a trapdoor right there. So that's pretty cool. And then all these boxes are just regular oak wood planks in the default texture pack. And then these bottles are cobwebs. So once again, just continuing that dark gloomy look. So everything should turn out all right. Now here's where sort of the actual shop portion starts to begin. And on this front section right here, this is where we have the desk. And all it is a couple stairs kind of facing towards each other. And then to make it look a little more fancy, what I did was place two of these little item frames on the front just to give it a bit more color and maybe make it look like there's little curtains draping down. So I thought that was quite a cool effect. And then right here, all this is another texture pack for one of the pressure plates. So once again, in the default texture pack, it'll still look good, which is one of my main goals when I do these interiors, along with the exteriors as well, because most people actually do use the default texture pack. So if it looks good in there, you're pretty much set. And I found that if you can make it look good in the default pack, it usually tends to look good in any other texture pack, which is, I guess, a good rule of thumb to go by when you're building. In fact, I used to actually build all my builds in default before switching it over, before I did YouTube and all that. So we're in sort of the next room, and this is just a lot of shelving and supplies. So I'll go around. It's pretty much quite symmetrical in this area, but I've tried to mix up each little divider or section as much as possible. Every single one does have the brewing stand, which I thought was a cool effect. Maybe it's sort of all these ingredients get put together into the brewing stand, and then that makes the final product. That could be what it is. Not quite sure. And then we have some bookshelves in the middle. Maybe these are like recipe books or just stuff that tells you how to use most of the ingredients. Or they could just be random books that have some cool stories. I have no clue. And then also I've tried, besides the ingredients, I tried to add some skulls and stuff around just to make it look a bit more creepy. Then in the corner we have that cool ass zombie head. And he should there it goes, the worm that crawls through his mouth, and the worm crawls through his eye and then goes into his mouth, and then it just continues. So fun life for that worm. But now we come up to the, I think this will be the top floor. I didn't decide to do an attic for this build just because it was so big, we had so much room. There was really nothing else we had left to put in, so I felt that why would we need to place that? I guess maybe if we did, it would have felt rushed or something. Not quite sure, but it definitely wasn't needed for this one. So as we come up here, it's just a lot more shelving, quite a few more chests to hold supplies and stuff. I tried to add a little more color to the walls on this one, although it really wasn't needed down here just because it was pretty much filled up. But yeah, on the second floor, I tried to add more pictures, give it a bit more color, make it a bit more bright, since this is where the owner is living, down in that room over there. But along this wall, as I said, we got shelving, chests. Some of these actually do block up the windows, which is quite a shame, because when that happens, it tends to not let light through. so that kind of sucks. So if you're a stickler for that, you can always just remove one of these bookshelves like this, and maybe, I don't know what you could put in between. That'd be like a good thing to test out. Maybe you could just do one of these like this, and then a chest right here. I don't know. I feel like blocking out maybe just the bottom half of the window is alright, because it'll still let light in. But if you are kind of not a fan of blocking out the whole window, this might be a thing that you don't want to do. And then along the build, I forgot to mention, I have been placing a bunch of these torches around. And all it is the redstone torch, because of course I am in love with these things. They don't emit too much light, so it keeps the build looking nice and immersive, and also quite cozy. And yeah, whenever I place these down, I try to make them look nice if they're not just sitting straight on a table like this. So for this one, I just did the item frame and then the little stone slab to make it almost look like a candle holder, which I think is quite cool. And then, let's see, what else? Oh yeah, when you're placing stairs, I know I've mentioned this in the past, but always place some sort of barricade around them, just so people don't fall down, and it tends to look a lot more nice and fancy in the end if you do that. Of course, if you don't have enough room, then I guess that's one exception, but if you do, always try to get some fences in. And then this is sort of nearing the final stages of the build. So this is sort of maybe like the master crafting area for this apothecary. Maybe he's some sort of doctor as well, so he needs to figure out how to craft his good ingredients to maybe heal people up and do all sorts of great things. And then really around this area, I tried to add as many of these little ingredient posters and stuff and sort of schematics around as possible. So we have one, I think there might just be two, but then there also is, here's one as well. And then also, what else? We got these 3 bookshelves along with some more ingredients. I tried to add this one thing in. I'm not sure if I like this or not. It's almost too wizardly. So I may remove that little book thing. I may not. Not quite sure. I kind of like the look of it just because it adds a new look and a new feel. But then again, I don't know if it fits in this style of build. Really not sure about that one. And then last but not least, we have his bedroom. And this is really almost too bright for my liking. I really think that, like in a bedroom, you kind of want it to be a bit more dark and cozy because the guy's going to be sleeping in here, so he doesn't want it to be too bright. Of course, we do have these 2 windows, so maybe if I remove one, not as much sunshine will come in, and that might create a cooler effect. But let's see. This bedroom was really quite simple. I probably could have done maybe a little bit more, maybe a shelf up here or 2, although I guess that might cram it up too much. So I think it's probably fine how it is, but I did try one new thing, and that was adding these little things on the side of the bed. And it does definitely create a new look and a new feel, so that's good. Although I'm sure there's other stuff you could do. In fact, we should probably try them right now. So I'm going to try 2 sets of things. One will be the trapdoor, and then the other one will be the sign. I don't know if the trapdoor will work. Yeah, I don't think... Okay, so we can scratch the trapdoor off, unless maybe you have to crouch to place it in. But even that doesn't work. So lastly, we can try the signs. I just really want to figure out which looks best out of the 3. Obviously, the trapdoors don't work, so we can count those out. I almost like these just because there's no gaps in between. So let's place these in. And then of course I'm going to try not to type anything this time. There we go. So of course you can, if you did like the item frames more, you can always use those. They definitely add a cooler color, I think. But since they have those gaps, I don't know. It doesn't make it look finished. So yeah, that is going to be it for today, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Make sure to let me know in the comments what you want to see next time. Did I show you down here? I feel like we didn't get this part. Yeah, this is it. There's like a nook and cranny if you want to play hide and seek back here. So that's cool. But yeah, make sure and let me know in the comments what you want to see next time. For the next style, we're going to be in the Gothic one. It feels like forever since we built in there. I don't even remember the last building we did. But it is a port town, so maybe we'll do a ship. I don't know. The ships are... I haven't done one in a while, so I should probably practice before I do a tutorial for one of those. But if you want to see any other buildings, or if you have any tips for maybe an attic for this build, if you have like a really cool idea and want me to fit something in up there, definitely let me know. But anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one.